Welcome to Hook and Loops. I'm EJ Hart, and today I'm going to be making a heart-shaped rag rug, part 1. The tools that I'm using is a 15mm crochet hook, 1.5-inch fabric strips or t-shirt yarn can be used. To begin with, I'm going to do a slip knot, but I want my tail to be pretty long, so I'm going to pull it out just a little bit so I have a long tail. I'm going to put the short end over the long end. I'm going to pull the long end up and through, making a loop. I'm going to put my hook back into the loop, and I'm going to chain 5. So I'm going to put my fabric over the hook and pull it through the loop. That's a chain stitch. Over the hook, through the loop. There's 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now I'm going to join the 2 ends, and this right here was the slip knot, so I'm just going to unloosen it a little bit so I can get my hook in there. And we're going to do a slip stitch into it. So we're going to put the hook into that very first knot where you got 2 loops on the hook, and I'm going to wrap my fabric over it. I'm going to pull through both of those loops. I'm going to tighten it up so that way I've made a circle. Now I'm going to be working this tail around the circle because I want the tail to be inside of the circle. Chain 2, so there's 1, 2, and so we're going to be making half double crochets, and how you make that is you put the fabric over the hook, you put your hook through the circle, and you pull the fabric up. So now you have 3 loops on the hook. Now I'm going to take my fabric and wrap it around my hook, and then I'm going to pull through all 3 of those loops that were on the hook. So that is a half double crochet. So we'll do one more half double crochet. We're going to put the fabric over the hook, put the hook through the circle, pull up the fabric, so you have 3 loops on the hook, wrap the fabric over the hook, and then pull through all 3 of those loops. So now I have 3 half double crochets in my circle. So I'm going to chain 2. There's 1, 2. Now I'm going to make 3 more half double crochets. So here's 1, 2, and 3. And remember to keep your tail inside of your work, so that way you can tighten it up and tighten the circle up. And we're going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now I'm going to make 3 more half double crochets. It's 2 and 3. Now I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. Now I'm going to join with this half double crochet. It's really a chain 2, and I'm going to join it. I'm just going to put my hook into the second chain of it. I'm going to pull my fabric through, and then I'm going to pull my fabric right straight through the loop that's on the hook already. So we kind of have like a triangle. Now the tail, we're just going to tighten that up real good, and then you're just going to weave it in back and forth so it won't come out, and that's going to keep this part real super tight. And just pull it as tight as you can, and that's good right there. So now I'm going to, for the next row, I'm going to chain 2. So there's 1, 2. This is going to act like a half double crochet again. So now I'm going to put in a half double crochet into the next stitch. So right into this stitch right here, I'm going to do a half double crochet. Okay, now in the next stitch right here, I'm going to do another half double crochet. Okay, now in this space right here, this is our chain 2 space. I'm going to put in 5 double crochets into this chain 2 space. And how you make a double crochet is you put your fabric over the hook, put your hook into that chain space and pull the fabric up to where you have 3 on the hook. Put the fabric over the hook and pull through 2. Put the fabric over the hook again and pull through the last 2. And we'll do it one more time. You put the fabric over the hook, put the hook into the hole and pull up the fabric. You put the fabric over the hook, pull through 2. Put the fabric over the hook, pull through 2. And that's a double crochet. So we've got 2 and I need 5, so I'm going to do 3 more. So here's 1, 2, and 3 for a total of 5. Okay, now I'm going to skip. Now this stitch kind of gets lost over here, but there's a stitch right there. I'm going to skip that stitch and I'm going to go into the second stitch and I'm going to just slip stitch it. So I'm going to put my hook through the hole, pull the fabric up, and then immediately pull the fabric through that loop that's on there on the hook. Now I'm going to skip the next stitch and I'm going to go straight into my chain space, and I'm going to make 5 double crochets into that chain space. So here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A stitch gets kind of lost in there, so I have to pull it out a little bit. Now in the next stitch, which is this one right here, we're going to do a half double crochet. So we're just going to put the fabric over the hook, put the hook through that chain, through that stitch, pull the fabric up, put the fabric over, and pull through all 3 of those loops. Okay, and in the next 2 we're going to do a half double crochet. So 1 half double crochet into the next 2 spaces, 2 stitches. Now here's our third chain space. So we're going to do 2 half double crochets into this chain space. So here's 1, 2. We're going to chain 2, 1, 2, and now we're going to do 2 more half double crochets inside the same space. There's 1, 2. Now we're going to slip stitch it onto this chain 2, which acts as a double crochet or half double crochet, and we're going to just put it into the top chain spot, and we're just going to slip stitch it right on top of it like that. Okay, and that's the beginning of our heart-shaped rug.
Consider subscribing to Hook and Loops. Just click the icon and click subscribe. And thank you for watching.